First,
Good afternoon to you all. Last lecture we had finished with the methods of measuring the national income. In this lecture, we are going to study about various difficulties faced in the calculation of national income. While calculating the national income, we are facing the number of difficulties, theoretical and practical difficulties. First, we will see that what are the theoretical difficulties. First difficulty that we face while calculating the national income is transfer payment. Whether we should include the transfer payment or not. Now, what is a transfer payment? अभी transfer payment किसको कहते हैं? The payment made by the government to the old age people, students, to the unemployed person in the form of pension, unemployment allowances, scholarship. These are called as a transfer payment. Now, these income is received by these people without making any contribution to the production. So, therefore, there is a question whether these income should be included or not, even though they are a part of the current consumption expenditure of these people. These income they are not included into the national income. The another difficulty that we face over here that income from illegal activity. Now, the many people they are earning the income through the various activities, illegal activities like gambling, black marketing, theft, smuggling, which added to the current consumption expenditure. But since this income, they receive the income from illegal activities which is not permitted by the government. Therefore, such income is not entered into the book of account. This is called as an unaccounted income, which is not recorded anywhere, and therefore they are not calculated into the national income. The another difficulty that we face in the calculation of a national income, that is unpaid services. As we had seen in the definition of national income, national income include only those goods and services for which we are making the payment. Apart from this, any goods that we received without any payment, all such goods or services are considered as the free goods and services. Since we are not paying anything for such services, they are not accounted in while calculating the national income. For example, we are receiving the services of a housewife. These services are provided out of the affection, love, and sympathy, and therefore they are not included into the national income. The another difficulty that we face over here that the production which is kept for the self-consumption purpose. Now, many times, what the farmers they are doing, they are keeping certain proportion of their produce for the self-consumption purpose. But since they are produced in that particular period, the value of such a goods has to be calculated into the national income while calculating the value of national income, because such goods add to the current consumption expenditure. So again, we are facing the difficulty to calculate the value of such goods which are kept for the self-consumption purpose. And therefore, these values many times are not accounted for the national income. The another difficulty that we face over here, the income of foreign firm. Now here, while calculating the value of national income, we should include the national income of the country, whereas the foreign firm, since whatever the profit earned by them, they are taking to that country, even though they are actually undertakes the production work within our country. That value again, it is very difficult to calculate the exact value of a national income, and to include the income earned by the foreign firm. The another difficulty that we face over here, that is to valuate or valuation of government services. Now, government provided various kinds of the services to the people, such as law and order, defense equipment, public administration, education, and health services. But the calculation of the value of these services is very difficult, and the exact value is not known, and therefore we are not able to calculate the exact value of a national income by calculating the exact value of the goods which are provided by the government. The another difficulty that we face, that is the changes in the prices of a commodity. If the prices of goods fluctuates, the value of a national income will also fluctuate. And in such a case, it is very difficult to calculate the value of a national income. Now, if the price of a commodity increases, now suppose, for example, farmer produces the 100 kg of rice. तो अभी farmer 100 kg rice produce कर and he is selling that rice at 40 rupees per kg. Farmer कितने में सेल कर रहा है? 40 rupees per kg. But now if the prices of a commodity increases, तो अभी हमको वैल्यू कितना मिला? 40 into 100, we got the value of a national income, that is the 4,000 rupees. हमको कितना वैल्यू मिला एग्रीकल्चर प्रोड्यूस का? 4,000 rupees. Now suppose that the value of or prices of agricultural goods fluctuates. Now we will consider that production remains the same. अभी production same है, लेकिन अभी क्या हो रहा है that price of rice it increases. Now if the price of rice increases from say 40 rupees, पहले कितना था 40 rupees, now it increases from 40 rupees to say 50 rupees. अभी भी उतना ही प्रोडक्शन है, कितना 100 kg, पहले भी 100 kg प्रोड्यूस कर रहे थे. Now also the farmer is producing 100 kg of rice. But now what happened? Because of the inflation, the price of rice increases, say 50 rupees. पहले प्राइस कितना था 40 rupees, अभी प्राइस कितना है 50 rupees. तो अगर हम लोग फार्मर की अगर इनकम कैलकुलेट करेंगे, now we will get his income that is 5,000 rupees. तो अभी हमको इनकम कितना मिल रहा है 5,000. पहले कितना इनकम मिल रहा था 4,000, अभी कितना मिल रहा है 5,000. Whether his real income has increased or not, no, it is just an inflated value. ये केवल inflated value है, लेकिन फार्मर की जो एग्जैक्ट इनकम है, एक्चुअल इनकम है, वो इंक्रीज नहीं हो रही है, क्योंकि his प्रोडक्शन नेवर चेंज, डिडंट चेंज. पहले भी वो 100 kg मिल रहा प्रोड्यूस कर रहा था. Now also he is producing the 100 kg. But how he got 1,000 extra? It is because of the inflation. यानी कि ये जो वैल्यू है ये inflated value है. And therefore we are not able to calculate the exact value of a national income. If the price level increases, we will get inflated value of a national income. And in opposite, on the contrary, if the prices of the commodity decreases, we are getting underestimated value. भले ही प्रोडक्शन वही रहेगा, लेकिन अगर प्राइस अगर कम हो गया, नाउ सपोज इफ द प्राइस डिक्रीजेज, तो हम लोग को जो एग्जैक्ट वैल्यू है उससे कम वैल्यू हमको यहाँ पे मिलेगा. नाउ इफ वी कैलकुलेट हिज इनकम, वी विल गेट 3,000 rupees. Okay, so that means what? We are not able to calculate exact value of the income. In the case of price fluctuation, either we will get inflated value or deflated value. And therefore, in such a case, we are not able to calculate the exact value of our national income. Now, another difficulty that these are called as a practical difficulty. Now, in practice, we are facing the number of difficulties in the collection of statistical data. We require the data for the estimation of national income. But we are facing the number of difficulties while estimating the national income and while collecting the data. The first difficulty that we are facing over here, that is the problem of double counting. To avoid the double counting, as per the theory, that what we have to do, to avoid the double counting, we have to calculate the value of final consumption goods only. Because in the value of final consumption goods, the value of intermediate goods is included, and therefore we have to include only the value of final consumption goods. But again, here there is a difficulty. Even if we calculate, even if we consider the value of final consumption goods, then also we are facing the problem of double counting. तो अभी ये सिचुएशन में अगर फाइनल कंजम्पशन गुड्स की वैल्यू भी हम लोग कंसीडर करते, तो भी हम लोगों को डबल काउंटिंग फेस करना पड़ता है. तो वो कैसे? Now some goods are used as consumption goods by the consumer, but the same goods will become intermediate goods for the producer. For example, we'll take the example of flour. अगर बेकरी वाला फ्लावर आटा ले रहा है, he is producing the bread from that flour. So flour is the intermediate goods for the baker. But if the household, if they are purchasing the flour, they are purchasing the flour for the self-consumption purpose. Therefore, for the household, flour is a final consumption goods. Now here, what a difficulty we face. Flour is final goods for the household and intermediate goods for the bakery owner. Because in the price of a bread, the value of a flour is already calculated. So if we are considering the as a flour as a final consumption goods, the same flour is intermediate goods for the baker. So there is a possibility of a double counting. Therefore, we are not able to calculate the exact value of a national income. Now, another difficulty that we are facing over here, that is the existence of a non-monetized sector. Non-monetized sector means what? Where the transactions are made without any payment. We can say that barter system. In rural areas, still the farmers, what they are doing, they are exchanging the goods for the another goods. They are exchanging the wheat for the rice. Now here, such a transactions are done without any payment, since the goods are exchanged for the goods. Because of such practices, we are not able to calculate the exact value of such a transaction, and therefore the value of such a goods are excluded while counting the national income. The another problem that we are facing over here, that is unreliable and inadequate data. Since the proper data related to crops, fisheries, animal husbandries, and forestry that is not available, and therefore we are not able to calculate the exact value of the income, consumption and expenditure of rural and urban population. The another problem that we are facing over here, that is calculation of depreciation cost. While calculating the national income, we have to deduct value of depreciation to get the exact value of national income. What is the depreciation? Depreciation means what? Wear and tear cost. If we are using any machines, any goods again and again, we have to spend some money for its maintenance, repairing. This expenditure is called as an depreciation cost. We have to deduct the value of such a depreciation cost to calculate the netted value of national income. But in reality, there is no standard measure to calculate such a depreciation cost, and therefore we are not able to calculate the value of national income. Now, the another difficulty that we are facing, that is illiteracy and ignorance. Now, many people in India, they are illiterate. They are not having any accounting knowledge, and therefore they are not able to maintain the proper record of their transaction. We can see that small vendors, जैसे आपके एरिया में जो सब्जी वाला रहेगा, तो ये लोग उनको प्रॉपर, मेनी ऑफ देम दे आर इलिटरेट because of that they didn't have the knowledge of accounts, and they are not able to maintain the record, and therefore we are not able to calculate the exact value of income earned by such a people, and we are not able to calculate the value of national income. The another difficulty that we are facing over here, that is the classification of working population. In India, working population is not clearly defined. For example, farmers, they are not engaged in agricultural activities throughout the season. They are engaged only in a specific season, that is in a harvest season. And in the rest of the season, they are engaged in alternative occupation. But we are not having any record of all such activities and the income earned by them in the off season. And therefore, we are not even able to calculate the exact value of national income. Now, the another problem that we are facing over here, that is the calculation of inventory. Now, what is inventories? अभी inventories किसको कहते हैं? Inventories means what? Stock. अभी किसका stock है? Its stock can be, it can be a stock of raw material और फिनिश गुड्स. अभी प्रोड्यूसर जितना प्रोड्यूस करता है वो पूरा का पूरा सेल नहीं करता. He is keeping certain proportion into the stock for the future purpose. जितनी रिक्वायरमेंट है उतना ही वो मार्केट में सेल करता है, and the remaining that he is keeping into the stock. But we are not having any exact record of such a stock which is kept by the producer. It is difficult to estimate the values of inventories. तो ये जो inventories है कितना प्रोड्यूस हुआ उनका वैल्यू क्या है, that are difficult to calculate, and therefore it is very difficult to calculate the exact value of national income. So these were the difficulties of calculating the national income. So ये difficulties है we are facing while calculating the national income. Now, if you are having any doubt, you can ask. किसी को कुछ डाउट रहेगा तो पूछ सकते हैं. Is there any doubt?